So, as you know, this is a session that has been requested by some Chinese parents to basically help us understand what's the impact of Gurukul on a child's brain development, right? That's a question. That was the request made by one of the Chinese parents. I don't know who is that, but I thank you for, suggesting this topic. A topic that haven't been spoken for a long time, but today is a great time that we can once again revisit and update what is happening in the realm of Gurukul with what Swamiji is offering. So we know so much he's offering, but I think right now it's good to put everything in the context, especially for new parents or teachers, acharyas who do not know what exactly is the possibility of Gurukul in the child's brain development. So I think that's what we are going to touch on, and you will see how Gurukul actually help kids to become much more, confident and much more, I would say, perceptive, intuitive. So we'll look into that. I'm going to share a presentation first. And then, because a lot of they are looking for some scientific, research. Whatever I can gather, I have the slides, but some of them may not be most updated because some of them are done in the past few years. So let's see whatever that we can. But the main thing is to put everything in the context of to frame the scope of the presentation. In regards to the question that have been raised. Okay. Is everybody okay? Give me a thumbs up. I can share the document. Great. Let's get rocking. Okay. So let me just share the document. Yes. How will Gurukul change the brain development of kids? So everybody can see. So let's have, the first slides I'm going to show is, I want you all to understand what's happening with the kids in terms of the challenges or the problems they're facing today. Okay? It is not just kids in Singapore, it's a global thing. Whether you are aware or not, believe it or not, this is a global thing. Okay? There is a constant pressure to study, to be, I would say, achievement-oriented. In some culture, even 100% is not good enough. There's so much peer pressure, and parents are disengaged because parents, a lot of the parents are working also. Let's say mothers are working, so they're not very engaged. They only have very little time for their kids, and so constantly they are just trying to push the kids to achieve. There's no time for parent and kids to understand what is happening in the life of the children. Okay? And the kids are trying to meet the high expectation of parents. Because parents also get into this whole rat-race mental setup of trying to compare with, the Jonases. Basically, comparing results and performance and achievement of kids among whether it's their cousins, whether it's with their, friends, kids' friends. So they're constantly also trying to compare. Especially we are living in a society where comparison is like the root pattern. Understand? They are constantly, trying to compare because society teaches us to compare. They never taught us to understand we are unique. There's no comparison. But that's only understanding will come only when you have a spiritual awakening, or you're in the environment where spiritual, uniqueness of the child is being recognized. Society, they see us, everyone is like the same, the pigeonhole us. If let's say you can learn fast, you're considered the high achiever. If you can't learn, you're kind of sidelined, you're put into a different box. So that creates a lot of not only jealousy, but a lot of violence and also inferiority complex in children. Understand? And also a lot of worry, a lot of stress they already start getting when parents start to compare, the kids with another kids from a different school or in the environment. Okay? And what happens is the parents, when they're not aware, they're trying to fulfill their dreams through their children. It means what? Dreams they did not fulfill, they try to push it down to the throat of the children. Okay, I want to go to this school, now I'm trying to make you go to this school. That kind of thing. So eventually, they're not recognizing each child has come with their own life purpose. They are not here to live your dream. They are an independent intelligence. So parents, when they're not aware of that, they're trying to live their dreams to their children. That starts all the problem. The children are feeling suffocated, pressure, okay? And here again, I talk about cutthroat competition in the form of examination, in the form of society putting a lot of unnecessary comparison to the kids, which later on develop a lot of violence and perversion. Understand? And not only that, we have another challenge, which is they are also constantly being distracted by light source gadgets like computer, handphone, TV, all kinds of electronic and digital distractions, which put the kids constantly in a short attention span. It means the attention is, unless it's moving, fast, stimulating, you can't catch them. Anything that's slow, they feel bored. That leads them to be highly insensitive, meaning they are no longer sensitive. The awareness is becoming so low that anything, they're not able to capture what is happening in the reality, meaning they are living in the fantasy of the digital world. Understand? So that's why kids become very impatient, irritable, cranky, throwing tantrums, screaming like crazy. These are some of the things that we're facing in the children now. Are you all understanding what I'm saying? Do you agree what you're seeing in this society? Yes? Give me a thumbs up. So this is a kind of reality we're facing now with children. Whether you're children with your own, whether it is your own children or kids, or you're the teachers of a school, okay? You are going to face kids of this generation with a mixture of these problems, okay? So this is the problem we are facing. And I'm not even talking about, these are the problem. What is going to be the outcome if the parents are not aware, if the parents do not do anything? Basically, kids will move into wrong path. Some even waste their life, whether it's through drugs, through perversion, or even some become psychologically, develop a lot of psychological disorder, meaning they have depression, they have anxiety attack, they have all kinds of issue related to the mind. Okay, so this is what we're seeing. Even kids in the Western world, a lot of kids are now, becoming very suicidal, becoming depressed, becoming stressed at a very young age, when they do not know the higher dimension of them, when society push them into such, pressure cooker. I call this a pressure cooker because it's like the kids are thrown inside and they're cooked because they're too eager to make them perform and make them excel and all that. So the pressure cooker eventually make them start to have, develop a lot of issues, not only just health-wise, mental health and emotional health are all affected. Okay. Then also problem faced by teachers. If you are teachers in school or you're somehow, working in some kind of educational system, these are also the challenges the teachers are facing. Okay, the challenge of the syllabus, because there is certain guidelines and all that, and there's also pressure from parents. Parents want you to make sure that kids are performing, and there is also disciplinary action. Kids are highly restless, and some kids are even violent, at a very young age. I've seen that in my son's school, at secondary school. The kids are getting so violent, it's scary. And there's so much energy, also partly due to the kind of diet they have. They had a lot of energy, but they're restless. And they don't know how to channel the energy properly. So they are creating a lot of issue in the school as well. Not only that, they have peer pressure from other schools, and and the syllabus, the curriculum is mundane, it's boring. The kids are bored to death in the school. I tell you, once my son told me he feels that going to school is like a prison to him. Okay, so that's the reality, and then the homework pressure, the exam pressure, the homework is ridiculous. Because I tell one other thing that I've observed, especially in Singapore or maybe in Hong Kong education system. When the teachers are not able to teach the kids, you know what they do? They pile them with lots of homework, make them do, so occupy them. Seriously. When my son was going through his PSLE at 12 years old, okay, the amount of worksheet he was given, I was really, really alarmed. I had to call the teacher, stop giving him any more of this, because you make him do so much, but you don't mark them, you don't help him to understand. It's just piling them up. In the end, at the end of the exam, I just throw the whole thing into the dustbin, short of burning it away. I just feel that their way of coping, making the kid down or, with their high energy, is to dump them with a lot of homework or assessment. Make them do. Exhaust their energy in this way. So it is not interactive, it's not engaging them. It's not about learning anymore. See, education should be about learning, not about making the kids afraid of learning, run away from learning. Can you imagine a child who's supposed to be the prime age where learning should be the lifestyle? And but by very young, the system has made them so paranoid about learning. So by the time they reach certain age, teenage, they already get sick of going to school. Then what happened? We lose all these kids' possibility because they're not put in the right ambience for learning. So these are some of the challenges that the teachers are facing in school as well. Too many students in a class, when they have like packed 40 kids in one class, and how can a teacher handle 40 kids if, let's say, these kids are all equally restless and violent? You go mad, as a teacher. You just can't handle. It's too much also. So this is the challenges teachers are facing as well. Imagine your kids is one of them and put into this kind of situation. How will your kid flower, blossom? And then, of course, the problems, the management of the school face. Okay, I don't know about some of your country. Some of the principal, I would say the educational system in that country, we call the Ministry of Education. They set high passing percentage, okay? And then they set teachers, certain performance, they call it a performance indicator, KPI, okay? And then they get constant pressure from parents as well, and then they need to maintain the school image because they are, let's say they are ranked. If the school is ranked on the top 10, if at 1 year, if the ranking dropped to outside below top 10, the whole school will be panicking, understand? So the ranking also put another level of pressure to the whole management, like including the principals and the teachers. So in this kind of stressful environment, do you think that they will be able to do the best thing for the kids? No, they will be like anything working in the corporate world, trying to meet the shareholders' expectation and trying to meet, the consumers' expectations. So they will not be productive. They will not be, doing what is right for the kids. They are doing only right for the expectation of from external force. So that is where everything goes wrong. Understand? All the things go wrong. Children front, parent front, and even the school front. They are all going in the wrong direction. That is the reason why Swamiji again and again say that the future is Gurukul. Because Gurukul is a totally different, concept altogether, learning concept altogether from the modern education system, the Makela education system or the Western education system. Okay, so now I presented enough problem. Let's look at what these problems make the children go through. Actually, the children go through a lot of emotional stress very early in their lives. Fear, greed, guilt, comparison, which lead to jealousy, violence, perversion, worry, stress, pain, all kinds of emotion they are already subjected to at a very young age. So what happened when a child are already going through all this roller coaster in their inner space, instead of being happy and learning and joyful? So you develop root patterns and then incompletion, and then what happened? Your life is, you stop growing. So Swamiji said that the moment you develop a root patterns, your life is destroyed. Basically, you stop growing, right? So at a very young age, our kids should be living in the space of completion and powerful space and learning in its peak capacity. But now we have just dump all these things and create, a deeply distressed child with lots of patterns. This is what is happening to our world with children now. Okay? So as you know, see, for all of us who have gone through, we identify all these, negative emotion, right? And how much we have to do to undo the patterns. Now we're seeing that the legacy is now passed on to the kids at an even younger stage because of the environment we're subjecting them into. It is ridiculous. It is very, very, sad to see how kids are not able to live in a joyful and, happy environment where they can grow and flower in their consciousness, where they are allowed to be, expressing their own uniqueness and creativity. Okay. So how do we impact the children? So first thing, when too much of the negative emotion, see, we have this part of the brain called amygdala in the brain. Okay. This amygdala, okay, this, like a seed like that, this amygdala, okay. This is the part of our brain, okay. See, when any emotional outburst, negative emotion like anger, frustration, this amygdala sends signals to discharge adrenaline to the blood stream, okay. So this is normally triggered when we are in the survival mode, when we're in the fight and flight mode. Understand? But instead of, only using this, triggering this part in the emergency case, this adrenaline becomes part of their system. Like everyday thing, they are being triggered with this, stress hormones, for instance. See, every day this psychological problem, this stress, physiological problem, cause the kids to release this adrenaline into the blood. Okay, which means they are getting, the whole nervous system is getting stressed out by the external forces, the external happening. Okay? So what happened? It means the children are constantly in the war zone. They're fighting a war constantly in the outer world. So instead of all decision which should be made from the frontal lobe, you see the frontal lobe here, this gray area, the frontal lobe is the area that, which is the higher brain. That means the brain which actually, when you are actually meditating, when you are relaxed, this is the part of the brain that you develop, you activate. But instead, they're activating the occipital, lobe, which is the high brain, which is the brain which is related to the animalistic level. See, our brain has gone through a lot of evolution from animal to human being, right? So this high brain, this occipital lobe is actually the brain related to the animal, the part of our development. So this is actually only activated in the emergency situation. So when constantly kids are using this high brain instead of the frontal lobe, what happens? It reduces the overall brain capacity to think, to judge, retain, and store and retrieve information, hence reducing the child's ability to compete effectively. Not only compete, but handle life effectively. Because it's using the most, like an old brain, which is related to the animal behavior, instead of the frontal lobe, which is related to the consciousness, related to the higher order of our existence. Let's move out of war zone, okay? All right. So now I'm just going to basically highlight the fact about Gurukul, okay? So I need to, first of all, establish certain understanding about Gurukul, okay? So before I show you this, get back onto the slide, okay? Many new parents, you need to understand what exactly is Gurukul, okay? Gurukul, it may seem like it's like a school, but actually it's not. The actual meaning of Gurukul. First, let me define Guru first, okay? Guru means is dispeller of darkness, okay? It means someone who removes darkness, you're ignorant. Darkness in the Sanskrit means darkness is ignorance. So someone who brings light and dispel darkness, the person is Guru, okay? So when you have a Gurukul, Gurukul means home of Guru. Understand? Home of Guru means you're living with the Guru. And you should know that Guru is Sadashiva. Okay? Imagine living in the home of Sadashiva and learning. That is the best learning education system that any child can have. Okay? So Gurukul, it is not a normal school. Gurukul is an incubator for enlightened beings and incarnation. This is how all the incarnation land, or how they create enlightened beings from the young age of Gurukul. Understand? This is how in the Vedic tradition, enlightened masters or enlightened beings are created through Gurukul only. Because by the 7 of age, when the child reaches 7, the parents basically surrender the kids to the Guru and say, Guru, we don't know how to bring up the kids, only you know. Now take care of him or her, and then, till the age of 21. So from 7 to 21, meaning in the 14 years, the Guru will treat the child as his own child. So the Guru become the father, mother, friends, teachers, God, whatever you name it, of the child. Okay? So in the 14 years, the child will be enlightened by then. And the child will know what is their life purpose, and they will either go and get married and, live a grihastha life, or become a sannyas. That means devote the whole entire life to, serving humanity and raise the consciousness. So that is how the system worked in the past. So by a very young age, by the time the child is 21, the child would have already been initiated into enlightenment, and they are already ready to go into the world to, share their gift and their contribution to the world. That is Gurukul. Okay? Because in that 14 years, when they live with the Guru will be transmitting his, not only just initiation, but his muscle and bio-memory to the kid, and awakening the kids' past bio-memories, so that the kid can start to realize his life purpose in this body. So he doesn't waste time. He doesn't go out and give trial and error and, oh, okay, this one doesn't work, let me go and try that thing. No, there's no wasting time. They will know very clearly what is their life purpose, and they will start doing the work. Okay? So that is Gurukul. Unfortunately, due to the degradation, dilution of the Sanatana Hindu Dharma in India, and the conspiracy by the British to destroy this ancient system, to weaken the whole entire construct, the fabric of India, Bharat. So Gurukul was basically make the thing is a very outdated education system, and they should embrace the Western education system. And many, many parents bought into that. Okay, so that's a result. Gurukul has kind of like become lesser and lesser, being replaced by the modern education system. Because one thing the British did very well is to make the parents or the Indians forget about their own heritage, forget about their own uniqueness and the powers that they have from their heritage. So by and by the time they lost everything, they also lost Gurukul. They think Gurukul is not going to get them a job, not going to make them highly get a high paid job, that kind of thing. So basically, they have tried to fit into the society's system, forgetting that what is the purpose of Gurukul. Okay, so that's why Swamiji's one of his mission when his advent on planet Earth is to revive Gurukul. In this body, he wants to revive Gurukul in a rapid speed. That's why he created online Gurukul. Besides the residential Gurukul, but these require a lot of I would say resources. So online Gurukul was what he's trying to make it accessible to many kids, because too many kids are suffering. Too many kids are in trouble. So the online Gurukul is the way he's trying to reach out to many kids as quickly as possible through online media, because all of them are connected widely through mobile. But when this group, as acharyas, you don't understand this, and you think that, oh, it's so stressful just to conduct a class. The more kids you reach out, the more kids you're going to save. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you are in the space of Swamiji, Paramashiva, seeing all these children getting lost, getting wasted, losing their sense of, not only health, but also, their life purpose, focus, I mean, they're destroying themselves. How will you not want to do something quickly? How would you just think that, oh, just sitting there and waiting for things to come to happen? That's why he's in a hurry. And you guys come into it, and if you must recognize why you're here, especially the acharyas I'm talking to, and the parents as well. Understand, too many forces out there are going to pull the kids down. We all have to stand, firmly to go against these tides, these tsunamis that are coming. They're already here. If you don't do it, what is going to happen is you will see your child struggling only. Okay. So let me just quickly outline what is Nithyananda Gurukul or online Gurukul. It is a place or space where kids live their highest potential and manifest various spiritual powers, where celebration begins with the right words in the blossoming mind, creating a gateway for all possibilities. See, Swamiji's vision is education means constantly breaking your impossibility. The education should break their lower identity of human being a human, making all the best possibility manifest. Education is for life, but life itself is not for education. Understand? The education they receive is for life. They're going to live their life. But it's not that, life is not for education. That is a big difference. Understand? So understand where Swamiji see education for kids. It should be something to help them to break all the wrong ideas put inside them by society, including parents. Okay? It should be a place or space where they start to discover their higher possibility and play with all the spiritual powers that he has, initiated them into. So what are the benefits of Gurukul learning for your child? You will create the right understanding about life. One of the greatest things that kids suffer in the outer world versus the Gurukul Balasan is the Balasan has a larger picture of life. The kids out there do not have the big picture about life. They only know bits and pieces, and then again, all these bits and pieces are forced into them by the society. No wonder they are lost, because they don't know what to do with their life. Gurukul becomes the language of school. It means when they understand what is Gurukul, it means how the ambience, the Vatavarana are created, where they live in a very, very highly charged, alive space, energy, where the Guru's energy is constantly infused to give them, whether it's higher powerful cognition, clicks, and completion. So that becomes the environment they live in. Literally, they are being grown in the cosmic womb of the Guru. That means the Guru holding like a womb for them to flower and blossom. Understand? So children understand their brain behavior. They know how to handle themselves, their emotion, and open out new areas of the brain performance. See, Swamiji's talk about the whole brain functioning. In the Western education, a lot of emphasis on the left brain. That means logic, basically whether it's maths, all this logical thing. Whereas the right brain is very much suppressed, unutilized. They're not using the full brain. See, the right brain is where the creativity, the higher possibility, the mental faculty for higher possibility reside in the right brain. But our education system is only developing the left brain. So what will happen? Can you see how creative can the whole society be when all the kids are being made to only think logical? Where's the creation, the genius? The genius are not being nurtured. What is being nurtured? Only clerks and engineers, and where you just groom a whole bunch of same think and work for people and make you a slave to the whole system. They're creating so many engineers, so many clerks, and so many software engineers and accountants. Basically, your life is to work for people until you die. In Gurukul system, you are going to be trained as a leader. You're going to be a dynamic leader where you run a company, you run a country, you run a global company. That's the kind of capacity he's training his kids. Understand? Not some worker mentality of working in the small company 9 to 5 job and go, and after that go back and rest and sleep and live their life till the end. No, he does not want to see this kind of, children being trained to become a slave to the system. He wants geniuses. He wants leaders who are going to take the responsibility to create a new world, a new consciousness on planet Earth. So we need increasing creativity. The kids will have higher confidence and self-esteem and improve communication skill, because when you're confident, you will be able to speak your mind, you'll be able to speak what you feel. Understand? As a result, kids in Gurukul, if they're trained, will have this right understanding. You see the performance naturally much better participation, less problem with their disciplinary actions, like they will not be throwing tantrums, they will not be playing all kinds of problems, creating all kinds of problems in school and all that. And they were also having a better scores in their results. Okay? So I'm going to now talk about what makes Gurukul so different. One, the awakening of the third eye. As a first thing that Swamiji he initiated all the kids into third eye awakening. He already said that he make third eye more common than the two eyes. As you know, third eye is an intra-organ. Is the intra-organ which is allowing you to do conscious seeing, not just seeing with the two eyes, but beyond. Okay? It is the seat of all yogic powers. Without an awakened third eye, you cannot express yogic powers. Okay? So what are the benefits of awakening the third eye? Not only just increase intuition, the quantum intelligence. Quantum intelligence means you will be able to download information without having to study or without knowing. Okay? Emotional stability. Kids will be very, very stable. They will not be cranky, depressed, angry, violent. So emotionally, they'll be very stable. They will have 360 degree awareness. They will have, the vision is not just limited to the two eyes. It's a broader vision. Okay? Clairvoyance, ability to see past future, even before the things happen. Incorruptible by society. They will not be kids with the awakened third eye. They will not be pushed by society. Understand? No matter how the school try to, make my son do all the stupid things, they can't. He's the boss. He knows what he's doing. Nothing can move him. If he knows this is stupid, he would never do. Okay? He would just have his own way of doing things. So this is one thing that is amazing. It's true. Incorruptible by society. The society cannot make them do anything without intelligence. That's what I'm saying. Okay? And superhuman powers already is happening with all the manifestation of Shaktis. Okay? So awakening of third eye, these are the benefit. So now let's look at the scientific understanding. See, all these powers or Shaktis are nothing but harnessing the natural law which science had not yet understood. Basically, we already have a lot of potential living in every human being. It's just now that Swamiji is giving us the science again to unleash them, open up a whole treasure chest which is inside us waiting for it to be opened up with the right key. When you don't have the right key, you cannot open the treasure chest, right? So now with the enlightened guru, he's giving us the key to open up the chest, the treasure chest, with all the best things that we can express and live our life the way we want. Okay? So third eye initiation activates the entire brain through Kundalini awakening. When you awaken the third eye, your Kundalini will naturally be awakened. Okay? And the brain is capable of amazing things. Okay? Too many amazing things. Even science are not able to catch up yet. Too many things that they are not able to fathom what the third eye awakening can bring to the brain. Because scientifically, they don't know how to measure. Still, the science are not able to measure so many things that is brought to by third eye awakening. That's the truth. They have not reached the level of scientific, spiritual advancement to be able to track it. They are catching up. They'll take them many thousands of years to catch up. But then we're not going to wait for thousands of years, right? By then, humanity may have already been gone. Because of the ignorance, they destroy the whole possibility. Understand? Yeah. So now let's look at another thing that in the Gurukul, what the kids are taught? Sanskrit. You go and Google. So many schools in the Western world, in the European countries, they are embracing Sanskrit now. Why? Because it has been scientifically proven to stimulate and enhance brain capacity. Swamiji says again and again, Sanskrit is not just phonetic. It has a deeper, powers to rewire the whole brain, to be able to make the subtle brain groove awaken. See, when the subtle brain groove is awakened, the child's ability to grasp the subtle truth will be there. If only this part of the brain is active, your left brain is active, when some subtle higher truth is given to you, you'll not catch it. You don't know, you'll be lost. I don't know what he's talking about. Only kids with a brain with subtle brain groove awaken, they can grasp this higher truth. Understand? So it helps to reduce the mind inner chatters or so and promote inner silence. With the Sanskrit chanting, the chanting of the Sanskrit mantras, slokas, all these help in many ways to, keep the inner chatters down, making the mind redundant and make the inner silence happen again, the awareness. Improve the child's attention span. See, the kids now, what happened? Because of the gadget and they're playing too much, the attention span has reduced. They cannot stay in something more than 1 minute, for instance. But with Sanskrit chanting, they will be put in such a deep silence, the ability to listen, be in awareness will be much higher. And they can learn faster, because only when the attention is there, they can learn things faster. They don't have to repeat again and again. There was a time when I read in Swamiji told us before, there was a time the quality of attention, awareness by the kids was so high. The guru only had to speak one time, they can capture everything verbatim. That means, let's say the guru say 1,000 words. The kids will be able to capture 1,000 as it is, without having to repeat. Those were the days of the heightened awareness. Now, if you tell the kids 10,000 times, they may not even remember their 1,000 words. Right? The quality of awareness is so low. This is the problem. Okay? Now, quantum memory. What is quantum memory? It is a constant downloading on information without interference of the mind. Kids, when the third eye is awakened, they just connect directly to the cosmic intelligence, Paramashiva. And they can download information, download anything. Literally, they don't really have to study that much. Okay? The downloading capability, if it's awakened, they don't need to study. And the reading skills is also directly related to the memory skill. That means they can read faster. They Swamiji talk about there's a technique where they just scan the books. They don't read the pages. He can read 600 pages in one night. He just scan. So when we learn something in complete awareness, usually when we are in shock or ecstasy, we are in such a, bliss, we remember it forever. Likewise, reading without interference of the mind is reading at quantum speed. Will lead to quantum memory without the mind getting in between. That means making the mind redundant and just constant downloading engagement with the source. Okay, that is quantum memory. Got it? When kids are in Gurukul, so many possibilities open up. They become an inspired learner. They have ability to have quantum memory, downloading. Delayed gratification. It means they will not jump based on emotion. They will delay the response in order to see what is best for them. They will not want to have, the thing fulfilled immediately because they have the patience to wait. High attention span, it means high, awareness, multiple intelligence, increased adaptability, act responsibly, high integrity, leadership skills, divergent thinking. That means the thinking is not only length, breadth, and depth. Improve health, for sure, with the yoga and all the, right environment, emotionally and physically, mentally, they will be very much healthier than the normal kids who are subject to lots of stress and, negativity. Social emotional stability. Okay, so these, you see the kids manifesting that. Okay, so that's my last slide.